This woman said that she thought she met the man of her dreams while vacationing in Senegal, but after 10 years of marriage, she discovered that she was actually his second wife. And the woman that was living in their home in Senegal, the woman that he was claiming was his cousin, was also his wife. You already know what time it is, story time, let's go ahead and get into it. Alrighty, so when she was in her early 20s, she went on a trip to discover her ancestry. She stopped in Ghana, Nigeria, and finally Senegal. When she got there, she fell in love with the country and the people. That's when she met him on a night out. They immediately clicked, and even though she was only there for 2 weeks, he made sure to introduce her to his family, especially his cousin that he pretty much considered a sister, at least that's what he told her. After 3 years of her traveling back and forth, they got married. 2 years later, she brought him to the US, and they had 3 kids together. Their kids will go back and forth, but because she really wanted them to be immersed in the culture. She said that there was no apparent red flags. Everyone in the family, including his parents, his siblings, and even the children of his cousin, played their part. Never slipped up, always treated her well, never gave any hints that there was any funny business going on. Then 2 years ago, she noticed that his cousin started distancing herself from them, especially from her. She didn't understand why. And when she asked her husband, he claimed that the cousin's husband had gotten in some legal troubles in Italy and had been jailed, which was creating issues across the family. She just trusted her husband and gave the cousin some space. That year, she couldn't go on their annual trip because she had just started a new job, but he still went with the kids. Even when they came back, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, like everything seemed as it should be. Then last year, his mom got sick, so they all traveled back to Senegal together. Since they had a house in Dakar and his family lived a few hours outside of Dakar, they brought his mom to stay at their house to make her treatments more convenient. As soon as she arrived, she found it weird that the cousin was not around. Keep in mind, the cousin had been living there with her kids for years at that point. The woman and her children moved in a year or two after the place was built under the guise of taking care of the house and their affairs. Her husband convinced her that this is how things were done back home. Everything else seemed normal outside the cousin and her kids not coming around the entire time that they were there. Now fast forward, they come back and resume business as usual. Then in September of last year, they rushed back as his mom's condition had gotten worse. But because the kids were in school and the trip was unplanned, she had to ask her mom, who is retired, to come and stay with the kids while they traveled back. They got back, and within a few days, the mom unfortunately passed. Now he's the oldest son, and because Papam had already passed, his dad had already passed, they started going through the distribution stuff, and a lot of issues started to come into play. His family expected that he would give his portion back to the family as he was in a stable situation, but when he refused, that triggered some folks, and that led to some issues. Now from there, things kept escalating to the point that his youngest sister, in front of most of their immediate family, brought up the fact that he had been lying about who the cousin is to him. From there, it got really messy. Her wealth is basic, but it was enough to understand what was being said. So apparently the woman was in fact his second cousin, and they had gotten married when they were pretty young. She agreed to be in the situation with the understanding that after 5 years, he would have his papers, and after 7 years, he planned on divorcing her so that he could apply for her citizenship. When that didn't happen and he kept moving the goalposts, she asked for a divorce. When she threatened to tell the wife everything, the family, including his late mother, started ganging up on her. So she quietly packed up her stuff and distanced herself and moved back to her father's home. And that was the real reason why she hadn't been around. She felt like her whole world had just been flipped upside down. And when she tried to speak to her husband about the situation, he just kept going in circles and circles and lying. To this day, he has never admitted the truth to her, even though it's been confirmed by many people, including the cousin wife. Y'all, she even took another trip back to Senegal and tested her kids' DNA against the DNA of the cousin wife, and they were in fact siblings from the same dad. She filed for divorce in February. He refused to accept the divorce and move out. Mais parce que everything was in her name, she just started creating a new life for her and her kids. Eventually, he had no choice but to dip. She moved her and her kids closer to her parents and is focused on rebuilding. She still can't believe that someone who claimed to love her could lie to her for more than 10 years straight. And if y'all can believe it, to this day, he's still pushing the lie that he left his American wife because she disrespected his family back home. She doesn't even care to correct it. Because at this point, she's just focused on rebuilding and creating stability for herself and her kids. Her only concern is wanting to keep her kids connected to their culture, but she said she's going to figure that out as she goes. And guess what, though? The first wife took him back after everything. Are we surprised? No, not at all. Not at all. Because I see so many Senegalese women that are male-centered. But I digress. She made sure everyone related to him got out of the house that she built, which was not easy. She was finally able to rent it out in April. Now, she did think about getting rid of it, but she was like, you know what? I'm going to keep it because this is something that I actually want to pass down to my kids when they're older. And even though she was hurt by her ex-husband and his family, the country still holds a special place in her heart.